This video starts project 2. We will be creating and grading a whole outfit. So we're going to do a bodysuit and a cargo pant. Project overview goes through the details. This will follow the trajectory of project 1. The first thing we'll do is create the base pattern from blocks that I've provided. Then we will create our gradable table. Then we will grade our pattern. Then we will learn some new tools to grade our small parts, our pockets, waistbands, etc. We will then set up our model editor, create our order, and create our marker. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we have 2 separate models and we need to join them into one. This page goes through generally how we do this. Just to note, this is a really good practice to understand when we want to join 2 models or bring in existing pieces from one model or a non-existent model into an existent model. So the first thing we're going to do is navigate to our drive. Again, just a reminder, I'm at home, so I do not have the Z drive. You will navigate to your Z drive folders. So if you filter by TC322 with the star, the asterisk, you will find the bodysuit and the pant. So it doesn't matter which one you start with, but we're going to start with the bodysuit. We're going to right click, save as with components, choose our folder, and we will replace TC322 bodysuit. With our initials, and this project is 2503. We will click apply, make sure our destination model and pieces have changed, and say OK. We are then going to filter for our initials, find 2503, and we're going to open it. Okay. Now, with this open, we're going to go back to AccuMark Explorer. We're going to find the pant model. So I'm filtering again by TC322. I'm going to find the pant. I'm going to say open with in active work area. Okay. So I now have 2 active models in this workspace and pieces with each. So I'm going to bring down the pant pieces that are not currently in my model, and I'm going to rename them. So I'm going to right click, edit piece info. I'll start with my pant. Notice that when you get this tracking information up, you can't do anything. You have to actually select a piece first. So I'm just going to replace the TC322 pant with my model prefix and say apply. I'll click on the back. I'll do the same thing. Apply, and I'll click on the waistband. Mouse is on the fritz. Okay, say apply, and okay. So my pieces are all named correctly, but I still have this TC322 pant active model. I'm going to go to File, Create Edit Model, Add Pieces, and you'll notice I have 2 active models. So I'm only going to choose my model and say OK, and I'm going to add these 3 pieces to my model. Okay, when this comes up, you should see all 5 pieces here. We say OK, and then we're going to save. And we are only going to save our model. Okay. Now, as long as I continue to work in this workspace, I have both active models still. So you would just need to continue to save and select your model. If you don't want to do this, you can always close this. It's going to ask you if you want to save this model. You just say OK. You don't want to save and close. You just want to hit OK. And then from now on, if you open up your model, you should have all 5 pieces. Okay, with no TC322 pant model. All right, so the first thing we need to do is alter our pattern. So I have a page in here about creating the base pattern. The bodysuit we're not making any changes to. The cargo pant, we're going to adjust the leg bottom and the knee. We are going to add slash pocket location, and we are going to create cargo pockets. Okay, so with the knee and leg bottom, we have 23.5 and 23.5 as our target measurements. Our spec page tells us, sorry, that's not what I meant to do. Getting ahead of myself. All right, so I need to figure out what my current measurements are. So I'm going to take my verify line length and I'm going to measure my leg bottom. Okay, I get 19. And then I'm going to measure my knee, which is 22.697. Okay, so if I take 23.5 minus 19, 23.5 is my target leg bottom, 19 is my current leg bottom, I get 4.5 inches. For my knee, if I take 23.5 and I subtract 22.697, I get 0.803. All right. So both of those calculations are going to happen in 4 areas. So when I increase and decrease my leg bottoms and knees, they're happening on both sides of my pieces. So here, 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 and here. So I need to take each of those values and divide them by 4. So 4.5 divided by 4 is 1 1/8. So I'll add 1 1/8 to each of my leg bottoms. 0.803 divided by 4 is 0.20075. Okay. So I'm going to go to create offset uneven. And I'm going to start at my leg bottom and I'm going to enter 1 1/8. I'm going to then go to my knee and type in 0.20075. And then I'm going to blend my hip. On the call out pages, it said let the thigh do what it needs to do. So that means I don't want to adjust I don't want to tell the system what I want my thigh to do. I just want it to blend nicely. So that is my out seam. I'm going to right click OK. I'm going to do the same thing on the inside. So 1 1/8 at the leg bottom, 0.20075 at the knee, and 0 at the crotch. Okay, same thing on my back. And inseam on my back. Okay, that is the adjustment for my leg. The next thing I need to do is, before I do that, I need to extend these knees so that when I measure them, I can tell that they're correct. So I'm going to go to Modify, Line Actions, Extend, select my knee lines, and then I'm also going to select my thigh lines. I've been having some trouble with Extend always working, especially in lines like this where they're very close. So in this case, what I would do is go to Modify, Line Actions, Adjust, select the line, select the point, and then just snap it to the edge. Okay. All right, the next thing I need to do is look at my slash pocket. So I gave slash pocket dimension. So I said 1.5 by 6. The smaller is usually at the waist and the longer is at the side. So I'm going to mark my location of my slash line / pocket opening first with notches. I'm going to create standard notch. I'm going to bunny click on the alt seam. So I need to go from this end, which according to this line, if I'm going clockwise around the piece, this leg bottom is my beginning and this waist is my end. So I need to toggle to the end and choose 6 inches. Then I'm going to bunny click on the waist. This is the correct direction, and I'm going to type in 1.5. Okay. All right, next I need to connect the lines with my pocket opening. So I'm going to go to 2 points straight. I'm going to click and drag into that notch that I just created, and then I'm going to click and drag into this notch and say OK. All right. We won't create pocket bags for this assignment. I am offering extra credit. If you would like to create a pocket bag, my suggestion is to draw it, whatever shape you want. I gave you dimensions. And then when we grade our pocket openings, you will need to grade the pocket bag as well, and then extract the pocket bag from the piece. Okay, next we need to make our cargo pocket. So cargo pocket, we can use rectangles for. Just remember that our grain line is horizontal, so we're going to have to flip these measurements around. So the 6.5 will be my X, 5 3/4 will be my Y. So I'm going to create a rectangle. I'm going to make sure I have add piece to model turned on. I'm going to click in space and bunny click to get my XYs. My X is going to be 6.5. And my Y is going to be 5 3/4. 6.5, correct. Great, and then I'm going to say OK. It's going to ask me to name it. I'm going to name it so that it fits in my model, 2503. I already have 5 pieces in my model, even though they're not all named correctly yet. I'm going to go ahead and call this 06. I'm going to say C pocket for cargo pocket. I'm cutting 2 in self. Okay, and then I'm going to make another rectangle for my flap. And you can either, make it 2 inches and then offset these 2 side points, or you can make it 1.5 inches and offset the center. I'm going to make it 1.5 inches. So my Y is going to be 6, and my X is going to be 1.5. And I'm going to name this 2503, 07, C flap. I'm cutting 4 in self. My flaps will be double layer. So now I need to create a point in the center that I can use to create that shape. So I'm going to do create point drill. I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose midpoint. And I'm going to select this line and say OK. Right? Then I'm going to go to modify point, click into that point, say OK. You're going to choose an X value of -0.5. Now notice that it's curved, so we have to change the attribute. We can change the attribute by going to edit point info and click and drag into this point and give it a non-smoothing point attribute. Okay. Alternatively, when I first created that point, create point drill, notice that I have in attribute. Okay. So I could choose that, use midpoint, say OK. Modify point. Oh my God, my mouse. Say OK. -0.5. Okay, so it already has the in attribute applied to it. I don't have to adjust it. Okay, those are all my pieces. I'm going to save this and then I'm going to go work on my grade rule table.